Hello there, people of the internet. I actually made this video already, but unfortunately the audio decided to itself it did not feel like recording. So I have me flapping my gums and trying to talk about this topic, but no audio. So hey, I hope the audio is recording this time. Boy, that would be swell. But in all reality, I'm kind of glad that the last video didn't really turn out the way that I wanted it to turn out, and I'm kind of glad that I have to go ahead and redo the entire thing, because there's some stuff that I left out, and I kind of wish that I included it, so my take two will go ahead and include it. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he had asked me to explain what twist rates in rifles are, specifically the 223/556 twist rates, and why they're so important for what particular bullet it is that you're going to be using. I went ahead and I told him that if you are using just like a AR15 for defensive purposes, you're probably going to be rocking either 55 grain or 62 grain projectiles depending on the ammunition that it is that you decide to pick. Very rarely will you get any lighter or heavier than that. And all of your AR twist rates, besides your like 1 in 12, which is a very uncommon twist rate for ARs unless you're rocking something specifically designed for like match shooting or some sort of high-end rifle. Typically, if you want a 1 in 12, you go out of your way to find a 1 in 12. But I digress. I was explaining that your most common twist rates for your ARs or your in any sort of 223 platform is going to be more than capable of handling both 55 grain and 62 grain projectiles, no matter the situation. So I told him that if that is what you're going after, then twist rates is not really something that you have to significantly pay attention to. Now, if you are looking to shoot out to any real significant distance, like 400 or 500 yards plus with a 223, that's when you want to really start taking into consideration the twist rates. Or if you want to start running ammunition that is not necessarily run-of-the-mill, everyday 223 ammunition that everybody with an AR for defensive purposes is going to be using, then having or paying attention to your twist rate would definitely be an important factor in that sort of situation as well. So I figured I'd go ahead and make a little video talking about different twist rates. I have three 223 rifles here, well, 223/556 rifles here. And I figured this right here will be a very good example of the different twist rates that I have available to me and what projectiles each one can use. Alright, we're going to start off with this right here. This is a steel case tool round, Tula round. So people tell me it's pronounced either Tul or Tula. Tul ammo, I don't know, but for all intents and purposes, this is a 55 grain full metal jacket round. Nothing special about this at all. It's very literally just the run-of-the-mill 223. A lot of people are going to be getting this for either defensive purposes if they're, getting it in bulk for just-in-case situations, or they're going to get it for like plinking at the range or training or etc, etc. 55 grain projectiles, your most common barrel twists for 223/556 are going to be 1 in 7, 1 in 8, and 1 in 9. They're all going to stabilize 55 grain projectiles pretty easily without any issues whatsoever. I have a few more examples of 55 grain projectiles here. This right here is a 55 grain 556 round. This is surplus ammunition. 556 ammunition burns at a hotter pressure, or burns at a higher pressure than a 223 is designed to burn. So if you have a rifle that is chambered in 223, do not fire 556 from it. This right here is a legitimate Remington 223 brass case, also 55 grain projectile. They are extremely similar and both will chamber in the same rifles. But if you have a 223 chambered rifle, don't try sticking 556 in it. 556 chambered rifles can take 223, however. Some people will say that they can't, but for all intents and purposes, I have several rifles with literally tens of thousands of mixed ammunition through them. So I think it's a safe bet to say that they absolutely can handle 556 rifles absolutely can handle 223. Alright, this right here is probably another really common round people are going to stockpile for defensive purposes or just in case purposes. This right here is a 62 grain. This is the M855 projectile that is fired from this brass case round. These are very, very common here in the civilian world. These are sold by bulk. You can go down to basically any gun store, especially nowadays. Pick yourself up a bunch of these for not a whole lot of money. They're a really good round that's going to serve you really well. The 55 grain and the 62 grain are going to be able to be stabilized by basically every platform, or not every platform, every barrel twist in whatever 223, 556 platform it is that you're running. Alright, now comes the time where we start jumping into some things that are not necessarily good for every universally accepted twist rate. I always recommend, if somebody is like insistent on what twist rate they should get, I recommend getting a 1 in 8 twist, because the 1 in 8 twist, which this AR right here has, which does not have any magazine in it at all for any YouTube reviewers, the 1 in 8 twist stabilizes projectiles. It's a good Goldilocks area to stabilize a good portion of lightweight to heavyweight projectiles. A vast majority of what you're going to find with 223 ammunition, other than like really specific specialty ammo, the 1 in 8 twist can handle. The 1 in 8 twist can handle like from 50 grain all the way up to like 77 grain projectiles, which is a vast majority of what you're going to find for 223, unless you're looking for something very specific to serve a very specific niche role. I'll go ahead and I'll throw up a little chart that I made to go ahead and show off the different grain weights that each twist rate is able to stabilize, what each one is more capable of accepting than the others. Although each of these will stabilize projectiles pretty well, even in the realms beyond what it is that I'm going to go ahead and project in that photo. Some barrel twist rates just do it better than others. That's why I go ahead and I make this video. 1 in 8 twist, very good universal do-everything twist that can handle, like I said, a vast majority of projectiles. Alright, this right here is a 52 grain tracer round. Hooray, 223 tracer round. People love these. A 1 in 8 twist will stabilize a 52 grain projectile, but a 1 in 9 twist just does it better. A 1 in 9 twist is designed to handle your more lightweight rounds. Like if you're rocking like 40 grain all the way up to like, you could run your 62 grain projectiles through it. But I wouldn't really go higher than like 65 grain for your 1 in 9 twist. They're basically for your lighter weight bullets. This right here is a really good example of what you would want to run through a 1 in 9 if you were to use this ammunition out to a long range. Not necessarily tracer ammunition, but just 52 grain, or like I'd say anywhere from 40 to like 50 grain. 52, like I said, the 1 in 8 can absolutely handle it, but the 1 in 9 just does it better. Alright, this right here is a round that I actually use for hunting purposes. This is a 75 grain hollow point. This is also a steel case tool round, but 75 grain hollow point. What a lot of people that I talk to and I tell them about these different grain weights, I have to explain to them that the width of the bullet does not change. It's just the length of the bullets that the length that you see is unchanged as well, but the length of the bullet itself, you know, a lot of the bullet is protruding into the cartridge itself and you can't see it. So whenever I show people like a 75 grain projectile and a 55 grain projectile and they look at it and it looks extremely similar, they're very confused. So I'll like pull a bullet and I'll be like, this is the size of a 55 grain, this is the size of a 75 grain, and the size difference is astonishing, and that is what really helps them click that there's a much larger projectile that's protruding into the case itself. But this is a 75 grain hollow point round. This is something that I use for hunting a lot of small to medium game around here. Small, medium game. And your 1 in 9 twist is not ideal for stabilizing something like a 75 grain projectile. Neither is your 1 in 8. Your 1 in 8 will do it, but your 1 in 7 will do it better. This right here is my Ruger Mini 14. It's a early 80s production, so it should have a 1 in 7 twist barrel in it. I cannot guarantee that it has a 1 in 7 twist barrel in it, only because I bought this only 2-3 years ago, maybe 4. I have no idea. Time is flying so fast. And this has existed for a very long time before I got my hands on it. Who knows if the barrel was swapped out for something different? Who knows what was done to this? I know I do not. But it seems to stabilize 75 grain projectiles very well. Definitely better than my 1 in 8 twist and my 1 in 9 twist. Although 1 and 9 I kind of knew for a fact was not going to stabilize projectiles very well at all, well 75 grain projectiles very well at all. But that's the main reason why I have a 1 and 7 twist. My Ruger Mini 14, I have a 5-round magazine for it, and this is what I use a good portion of my time for hunting. I'll carry my 75 grain projectile, and this works really, really well, especially when you have it stabilized out of a 1 and 7 twist. Alright, quick recap. 1 and 7 twist is like for your heavy projectiles. 1 and 8 twist is for like your Goldilocks, middle ground, all of your projectiles other than the really heavy ones and the really lightweight ones. And your 1 and 9 twist just handles lightweight projectiles very, very well. All of them can handle your run-of-the-mill, very common 55 grain and 62 grain 5.56. So if you're concerned about, you know, using one of these for a non-specialty role, I would not be concerned about twist rate, especially if you're just going to be getting 55 to 62 grain projectiles, which a vast, vast majority of people are going to be getting. Now, if you're like me and you like using the 223 for hunting purposes, which is legal with where I'm at, and you want to rock a 75 grain bullet, then a 1 and 7 twist would be the way to go. Or if you want to run specialty rounds that are a lot lighter than the rounds that you're going to use. Normally I'd show off like a 45 grain at 223, which is ideal for the 1 and 9 twist, but I don't have any of those right now. They're just not something that I keep in normal stock, so this 52 grain is what I'm using to represent lightweight bullets. It is just what I have. Hopefully this helped clear some stuff up. Maybe you learned something about 223/5.56 twist rates. I do certainly hope, by all means and by every stretch of the imagination, that this helped a lot of people out. Now I have the means to send people this video if they ask me about twist rates, because I've had several people ask me about twist rates. So thanks for watching, folks. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, etc., etc. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day.
Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.